welcome back to Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections. Welcome to a brand new Sacred Union energy update. This energy update is going to be the last of the year. I'm going to be taking the week off and closing for the holidays, but we have timeless readings here on the channel, as well as a new very much in-depth sacred channeling coming up over the next couple of days. I think I'll post that over the weekend with regards to some downloads and insights I received from the musical Hadestown. It activated me. I was in my rest period. I've been called to really take some time to rest. And in my rest period, I have just been allowing myself to go where I'm guided, whether that's a book or a movie or a show or just meditation or whatever it is. And Hadestown has been in my awareness for many, many years, but I never felt called to really give it a listen until just a couple of days ago. And it activated me. And it woke something up in me and sparked something in me. And as I listened, I kept getting more downloads and more insights. So the sacred channeling is going to be called Wait for Me. It is Sacred Lessons for Twin Flames from Greek mythology and the musical Hadestown. So make sure that you're staying tuned for that coming up either tomorrow or Saturday. I'll have that available, and it will be available with music. I put some music clips into it with music over in the Ascension Connections portal. There is a written essay that I also wrote for it that will be available on my blog if you prefer to read, or we'll have the channeling without the music here on YouTube. So make sure that you're subscribing and staying tuned for that. It is a deep dive, and it ended up being truly, truly beautiful. And as I listen more, I just keep getting more and more insight, and that's an open invitation for you to listen and see what insights you get from the journey as well. But we did an in-depth kind of like a intuitive analysis of the show and the lessons that it shows us with regards to twin flames and the sacred union path of ascension. So stay tuned for that. I'll be working on the year ahead readings for those of you who ordered a year ahead reading. I'll be working on those even while I'm closed. So I'll be catching up on those and working on those. So you'll have those within the next week or two, depending on where you ordered and where in line you are. If you'd like to order a year ahead reading, the bookings are available until January 15th. January 15th is when I close the bookings for the 2025 year ahead reading. Those are available for booking on my website. We go deep into your current energies to close the year, what you need to know heading into the new year. We look at all 4 quarters of the year, and then we go into themes of relationships, finances and career, family and home, soul growth with lots of guidance for challenges for the year ahead, blessings for the year ahead, and you'll get a lot out of it if you're interested in a year ahead reading. So that being said, we have the solstice coming up this weekend, and like I said, I wasn't really planning on doing many more readings. In fact, this is going to be the last reading of the year, the last Sacred Union energy update of the year, because I am closing just to nurture myself, my own health, and spend time with family and friends for the holidays. But the solstice is coming up, and that was really speaking to me as well. And the rest period of the solstice, especially if you're experiencing the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, it is a time of quiet. It is a time of stillness. It is a time of allowing yourself to be. There is a very reflective mode that comes around it, not because of the end of the calendar year, but because of this solstice energy. There's a very reflective energy. And even if you are in the southern hemisphere and experiencing the summer solstice, there's a very reflective energy of look how far you've come. Look back at the past 6 months and look how far you come. Look how much has shifted and how much has changed. Even if not much has changed in your physical world, even if it doesn't look like a whole lot of movement in your physical world, see that change within yourself. See that transformation and the metamorphosis that you yourself have gone through. It feels like we have lived lifetimes in this year alone. When I look back, I can't believe how much, well, number one, how much I've done when I wasn't expecting to do much of anything, or nothing that I've actually done or created was what I expected. But I allowed my intuition to guide me. I allowed my creativity to guide me. And it opened me up to new foundations. It opened me up to new levels of myself. And when I look at the whole of the year, I can't believe we're here. It literally feels like it should be, like February of 2024 versus heading into 2025. This year has gone by so quickly, and that is our ascension. We time is shifting very quickly. Time is an illusion. You can check out our sacred channeling called the Blessings and Burdens of Time, where we channel deep into what time is on a spiritual level. That's available in our Ascension Connections portal, or it should be here on the Sacred Channelings playlist as well. But time is not linear like we think it is. We just put it into a linear construct so that our human minds can make sense of it, but it's not linear. It is cyclical. We're constantly moving in these spirals, constantly moving deeper and deeper into awareness of ourselves and understanding of ourselves, and creating new cycles and breaking old cycles and new versions of ourselves. And that's why it feels like we have lived lifetimes in just the past year alone. And if you go back to the beginning of your ascension journey, man, it feels like that was lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes ago. So take some time during the solstice energy, wherever you are, however you're experiencing it, and take some time just to reflect within yourself. Allow yourself the stillness during the holiday season. Whatever you celebrate and however you celebrate, it can feel like a little bit of a chaotic energy. Allow yourself to slow down and be very present with yourself. Be very present in moments and pockets of joy and peace and happiness. There's a quote that I love from Bob Hope, and I'm going to get it wrong because I'm channeling and I always get things wrong when I'm channeling. But there's something that he says around the silent and stillness of Christmas time, and how we should appreciate the silence and stillness of Christmas time. I can't even pretend to remember what the quote is. They're just bringing me to this quote that I know that I have shared before. It's something that I love. I just can't remember it as I'm channeling. But it's something about the stillness and the silence of Christmas time. There's also a movie that I love, Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. And one of the songs is Keep Christmas With You. I've posted about it. I just posted about it again, where I had a dream of one of the main characters, human characters, who had been part of my childhood on Sesame Street. I was used to watch him on Sesame Street. He passed away many years ago, but he came to me a couple months ago in a dream, and he shared the song Keep Christmas With You all through the year. And that's what it's about. The energy of Christmas is about that peace, the love, the compassion. It is the Christ consciousness, the Christ Sophia consciousness. It is the embodiment of that peace. That's what it's about. We get very caught up in the chaos of the commercialization of it. We get caught up in the holiday parties and the decorating and the gift giving and the wrapping. And what is it truly about? It is about spreading joy. It is about sharing peace. It is about spending time with each other. And you create traditions around that are healthy for you, for your family, for the soul. You create beautiful human traditions around that. But at the core of those traditions is compassion, peace, generosity, love. That's what a tradition is. And so allow yourself to reflect on the not the chaos that is being kind of projected onto us in our physical world, our collective world, but nurturing the energy within. We've also been talking a lot about keeping your circle small over the past couple of months. And that doesn't mean secluding yourself, that doesn't mean isolating yourself, but that just means nurturing the relationships that are most dear and important to you. Keeping your circle small means not leaking your energy where it doesn't need to be. It means really allowing yourself, maybe it's your immediate family or your friendships or your children or significant connections. Keeping your circle small means nurturing that which is in that inner circle around you. And when you nurture that energy, you cultivate more of that joy and more of that peace, that has a ripple effect on everything else, because you are not being deluged by outside influences that are trying to distract you, or that's trying to take your energy or drain your energy. by keeping your circle small, it's a very kind of protective, nurturing energy. It's almost like a cocoon. And again, that doesn't mean isolation. Connection is important, but it means nurturing the connections that are of the utmost priority for you. That's going to be really important at this time, especially because there's a lot of chaos that is being projected onto our collective reality. So nurture your inner reality, nurture your smaller reality, your world, not so much the outside world right now, but your world. There's going to be time for that expansion. There's going to be room for that expansion, but it's almost like that fill up your cup mode. Allow yourself to nurture within so that you have room to experience that without. Okay? All right, so solstice is also the longest night. It is when we start to shift. There, after winter comes spring. And we didn't talk in the Hades Town channeling about the collective energy. I might come back and do a follow-up because I feel like that's going to be important too. There's a lot of metaphor with regards to the collective energy within that storytelling as well. But yeah, it's the reminder that, after winter comes the spring, and spring is all about rebirth. It's all about rejuvenation. It's also about renewal. And so this is a time for perhaps stillness. This is a time to look in on yourself, check in on yourself, or check in on those who are most dear to you and close to you. It is important to make sure that you are nurturing your energy and receiving and allowing yourself to nurture and give to those who are closest to you, and really cultivating that community. That's going to be especially important, community, especially important moving into 2025. We'll have a collective year ahead reading coming up at the beginning of the year. So we'll look at the collective energies there. But this is going to be an important time, especially as it might be hard to pull back. It might be hard or seem hard or challenging, because you might ask yourself, well, I want to take action. I want movement in my life. I want change and I want transformation. But recognize too that energy is always evolving. Energy is always shifting. There is movement, even if you can't see it. So take this time to nurture yourself, because this is a preparation time for, again, almost like this action in the springtime, more movement in the springtime. It doesn't mean that it's not happening now, but there are steps to be taken, and nurturing your energy now is going to be beneficial for what is to come, whatever that means, however that plays out for your individual journey for what is to come. So keep nurturing that energy now. All right, let's see what's coming in for the Divine Masculine at this time. Current energies, and we're going to look at the solstice energies too, but I want to just take a peek at the current energies for the Divine Masculine. Right here, right now, in this timeless reading, whenever you're watching this, take this for your inner masculine, for your counterpart, or for the global collective energies. What's going on for the Divine Masculine? What's going on for the Divine Masculine at this time? What's going on for the Divine Masculine? We have past life, a connection through time. Isn't that interesting that we're talking about time? That's so very interesting that we're mentioning time and past lifetimes and things like that. I feel like for the Divine Masculine, let's take some time. Yeah, I just got called to the bottom of the deck there. The bottom of the deck is take back your power. We also have self-love, and I feel like this is what the Divine Masculine is experiencing. They might also be in a very kind of introspective energy. It doesn't feel self-isolating. It feels more like introspective. There is this reflection energy that's coming through for the Divine Masculine energy. And what I'm actually feeling is a lot of root chakra energy, where I feel like they're grounding this in the lessons they've learned, the wisdom they're gaining, the insights they're gaining, the self-awareness they are coming online with. We've talked a lot over the past 6 months about how this Divine Masculine has been almost like becoming more aware of themselves, from a higher level of consciousness, shifting consciousness, because they've gone through this rebirth. And again, make sure that you're checking out past readings, past sacred union energy updates, whatever calls to you. All of those are meant to be timeless, and these readings do have activations in them, and there are many levels and many layers to the messages. So while you might have listened to it and heard one message and understood it from one level or layer before, as you're constantly evolving and growing in consciousness, or I should say shifting in consciousness, as you listen back, you might, like, if some seeds were planted, and you might get something more out of it, or something deeper out of it. You might get a renewed understanding of it as you're growing, as you're transforming. So take some time, especially if we're closed, and you're looking for guidance, or you're seeking how to navigate your journey. Take some time to look back at some past sacred union energy updates, especially that 6 month window. That 6 month window is going to be very important, and I'll try to see if anything calls to me. If they do, I will post it for the collective if anything specific comes up. But go with what your intuition is guiding you for your journey, and see what might call to you, because I feel like it's this transformation that the divine masculine has been going through over this 6 month period. And I feel like it's this rebirth. They're again showing me what we had channeled in one of the readings about a cocoon, and how it was almost like they were in their grown presence, in their grown embodiment, in a fetal position, naked and in a fetal position, and it looked like they were in this womb. And what I was seeing was all these light codes around them, and all this light energy. It wasn't dark like a womb, like you would think a womb would be. There was very light energy, and there was all these it looked like prisms, rainbow energy, light codes that were part of like how there's like amniotic fluid. It was like that kind of um, it was that kind of energy. That's what it looked like. It was like light codes within the womb, and that was part of their rebirth, and coming out of that cocoon, coming out of that rebirth, and moving into self love. Well, I feel like they're integrating all of that now, and that's why they might be a little bit reflective. They might be a little bit introspective. I'm also getting a message that some of you, depending on where you are in your journey, or depending what your journey is, and what I mean by that, it just depends on you. Like, it depends on your journey. It depends on I don't want to say where you are in your journey, because it's not like you're ahead or behind, but it just depends on your specific journey. Some of you might actually be receiving communication from your counterpart that is very reflective, that is very introspective, that is very nostalgic. They might text you or call you up because they're feeling nostalgic, or they're feeling reflective, and some might actually even want to have conversations that are more nostalgic. That's for a specific group, so only take that if it resonates for you. If you're feeling that energy too, if you're feeling that connection energy, if you're feeling that nostalgia too, only take that if it resonates for you. And if it doesn't resonate for you, I don't want you to get into fear or lack or scarcity just because it's not resonating for you. Remember, your journey is perfect for you. Perfect for you. Wherever you are is exactly where you're meant to be. You are not ahead or behind in any means, in any way. Your union is unfolding because it's unfolding within. And even if you're not in physical contact or communication, that doesn't mean that you're not in union. That does not mean that you are not experiencing that union. The union stabilizes and integrates first within, and then you'll experience that in many different ways in your physical world, including with connection and partnership in some way with your sacred partner, your twin flame, whatever you want to call it, with your divine masculine. So I don't want you to get caught up in, oh, but he isn't talking to me, or he isn't communicating, or I don't want you to get caught up in expectations of is he going to contact me or communicate with me over the holidays. That was a message that wanted to come forth only for a group of you who might be feeling it. And the message there is to allow for you to be very present in the conversation. Don't hook into the past, even though there might be a nostalgic energy. Be very present in the now moment during that conversation or during that communication, and allow yourself to see what unfolds without expectation and without attachment. Okay, reunion and reconciliation, the sacred channeling, is also available. If you have trouble finding it, it's also available in our Ascension Connections portal in the free resource library. You can check that out. That will be beneficial for those of you who are coming into contact, perhaps for the first time in a while. That might be very helpful to help you navigate contact and communication. But if you have not experienced that, or if you're worried if you're going to experience that or not, unhook from the expectation and allow yourself to enjoy where you are right here, right now. Don't look at the lack of, oh, if your counterparts in your life or not in your life, or in communication or not in communication. Cultivate that within. Feel into the energy, tune into the energy, and keep cultivating that union within. Keep connecting with that union energy with your counterpart within. That's what makes the difference. It's always from the inside out. So I feel like the divine masculine is in a very reflective mode, a very nostalgic mode, and very introspective mode. I feel like for some, they could also be having some insight into past patterns and past behaviors. Now, for some, this is actually going to be past lifetimes where they might be having moments of like almost like deja vu, almost like and deja vu is going to look different to everybody. There could be this feeling of, oh, I've felt like this before, I've done this before. They could have flashes of memories that are past life memories. They could have dream state memories. But for most it's gonna be more along the lines of um, called to certain things. For example, they might be called to read a book about life in the Roman Empire. I know that's because they had a lifetime in the Roman Empire, and they're connecting with it and they're resonating with it. It's because there's something in their cellular memory that is connecting them through those past lifetimes to that past lifetime. They could have a memory of being in an ancient Mayan civilization, for example, and that's because their interest in that, if they're having a sudden spark of interest in that, is because there is something about that lifetime that they had there that is resonating with them, that's connecting with them. So it's not always going to be having like a complete download of like a past lifetime and a complete understanding of a past lifetime. It's going to be something is calling to you, something's resonating with you, and that's how your soul remembers too. It's what sparks your interest. If it sparks your interest, it's likely because you maybe experienced a past lifetime there, or because there was something connected to that historical moment in time, so to speak. For example, growing up, I was obsessed with the Romanovs. And I realized doing my energy work that there was a connection to Russia there, that I had a connection to the Romanov family. No, I wasn't a Romanov, obviously, but there was a connection, an energetic connection in that lifetime to everything that happened during that revolution. Because it wasn't just the Romanovs, it was everything, like Russian Revolution and all that. That was fascinating to me. St. Petersburg, the palace. It was a lifetime where I actually had worked in the palace. Um, so past lifetimes don't matter as much as they might have when you were starting on your ascension journey. When you were starting on your ascension journey, it was to have an understanding of what you're going through now. I used to do past life readings, and every once in a while I will still do some, but past life readings, they would come through as connected to whatever it was that my client was dealing with in the now moment, because it was a repeating karma, it was a repeating lesson that they were going through. And by clearing that past lifetime, or at the very least having an awareness of that past lifetime, they were able to connect that to this lifetime and shift the energy or shift the pattern. So I feel like that's what the divine masculine is doing, whether through literal past lifetimes and feeling resonance with historical events or historical times, or this is their own lifetime within this incarnation, where they're looking back at their past and looking at patterns and beliefs. They're shifting the energy. There's something here about a shift in an energy by that through the introspection of the past. So it could be past lifetimes, or it can be within this lifetime, looking at past version of themselves, patterns, beliefs that they were holding that was continuing some kind of cycle for them. And through this introspective energy, through this introspection, they're becoming much more aware of themselves and how they had portrayed themselves, how they had presented themselves, and recognizing that that is not true to their light, that is not true to their soul. That was just a pattern that was replaying based on trauma, or based on a past experience, or a fear, or a program, or societal conditioning, or whatever it was, or all of it. It was just a repeating energy. And so I feel like they're breaking cycles, and they might not be breaking cycles within actions right now. I feel like they're going to be taking action. We'll look in deeper into this in the tarot, but I feel like there is a energetic awareness of these patterns or of these cycles, that they are beginning to, their awareness is going to be the lead in, the catalyst for breaking those patterns in the physical. So whatever that pattern is, beginning to break those patterns from the awareness. And that's where this take your power back comes into play. This is where they're having the courage. And courage has been a word that has been coming through in past Sacred Union energy updates, again, over the past 6 months. Having the courage to actually cultivate that self-love and have love for themselves. A lot of masculines deal with a lot of worth issues. So having self-love and seeing themselves in a new light has been huge for them. And that's where they're beginning to take back their power and recognize that power has been illusory for them too, because they were clinging to what they thought power was. Power is from within. Power is personal. Power is not anything outside of yourself. Power is not control. Power is within. It is self-empowerment. It comes from within you, and it comes from being in your integrity. It comes from being authentic to you. It comes from your own connection to yourself. They're beginning to understand and really be aware of this, and aware of how they had been operating. What they're showing me is a computer system, showing me the operating system that was running and running and running. And they might have thought that they were clicking the X and getting out of the system, but that was still running in the background. They're becoming aware of this, how this is still a repeating pattern. And now they're having this almost like this operating system upgrade, through that awareness. And it's almost like everything is shifting for them, everything is changing. I do feel like with the solstice energy, there is going to be an energetic shift. There's already an energetic shift with this solstice energy supporting us. And I feel like over the next 6 months, we're really going to be seeing the residual results of that energetic shift, that energetic change. So it's just like inner union and outer union. Inner union is cultivated within first. Shifts happen within first energetically, and then you see the reflection of that in your physical world. Well, the same thing here. The shift and transformation happens within, and then you'll start to see step by step, little by little, you'll start to see action pieces. You'll see that in your physical world, in actions that maybe you didn't take before, or behaviors, or habits shifting, or changes in your physical world. That is the reflection of the shift within your own energy within. So that's what's happening for the masculine. And I love the Leo energy here. I love the lion energy. I do feel like the Lionsgate was a big shift. And I feel like that has been helping this transformation. So look back at, maybe where your inner masculine was, if you're a feminine, or if you're a masculine, look at where you were 6 months ago. Look back where you were back in August during the Lionsgate. Look back at what was shifting within this time window, and allow yourself to keep going through that transformation. Because with the lion here, you have the courage. Being brought to the Wizard of Oz, Frank L. Baum says, "You've always had the courage, my dear. You just had to believe it in yourself." That's exactly what it is. They had to believe that in themselves. And I feel like It took a lot for them to have to see that for themselves. Divine masculines will play things out in the physical. They will learn through their experiences. And the more they shift in consciousness and the more they embody that higher frequency and that higher level of consciousness, the more they will have a template to guide them so that they don't have to play out those harsher realities and those harsher lessons. But that comes with the shift. That comes with the shift in consciousness. That comes with the higher level of awareness and understanding and connection to self. So I do feel like this is a big transformation that's happening for the divine masculine. It might not look like it on the surface. Like if you're a feminine and looking at your masculine, it might look like there's no movement or nothing happening, but that's where you have to trust and have faith. And if you're resonating with this, really, I encourage you to check out the sacred channeling that we'll be posting with regards to the Hades Town channeling. It's going to be, it was a phenomenal, powerful channeling that I think will put some things into perspective. Okay, let's see what's going on for the divine feminine. Abundance, unexpected windfall. I immediately got Jupiter energy. I don't know if anything's happening in Jupiter right now, if there's any transits with Jupiter right now, but I do feel this Jupiter energy of luck, prosperity. I'm also, interestingly enough, getting green aventurine. Green aventurine, do I have any around me? Yes. I have my little doggy. I call him Buford. This is green aventurine, the crystal, and I feel like there is this green aventurine. The spiritual meaning of green aventurine is abundance, money, luck, prosperity. It's all Jupiter energy is what I'm getting, and so I feel like this abundance energy is enhanced. That comes from within you. Remember that you are creating your experiences. You're writing your story, you're creating your reality by the energy that you're holding within. So if you're in this energy of abundance, this Jupiter energy is enhancing and amplifying that. If you're in an energy of lack, it might be a little bit more difficult to feel that energy or call in that energy of abundance or experience that abundance, but that's where you have to allow yourself to shift your perspective, shift your focus from lack, from fear, from scarcity to the present moment where joy and love and abundance exists. So now is the time, especially now, in this reflective energy we're talking about, in this introspection, to where we're saying keep your circle smaller. If you're feeling like there's so much that is taking your energy, where you're feeling deflated, if you're feeling depleted, if you're feeling any lack in any way, now is the time to nurture yourself, keep your circle smaller, fill up your cup, get into the energy of joy. And that, I know that sometimes is easier said than done. Just take little steps. Just go to your next level of excitement, your next level of passion. Go to the little things that bring you joy. For example, rather than watching, a movie that is sad or something, watch a movie that will make you laugh. Watch. I have a whole playlist on TikTok that is just like animal love, is what I call it, and it's just animals that are being just beautiful or that make me laugh. And anytime I need a little mood boost, I will just go in there and I will just watch some funny animal videos that make me laugh. And it's animals, because animals are just these pure, innocent spirits. And nothing kind of can detract from that. So do the little things that make you laugh, that bring you little pockets of joy, because it adds up. The more you're in that energy, the more it will expand. So love begets love, joy begets more joy, happiness begets more happiness. Just keep taking those steps. Keep taking those small steps, and sometimes they are small steps depending on where you are. Sometimes they are very small steps, but don't negate the small steps. Don't undermine the small steps, because they matter too. They matter the most on your journey, because the small steps are the ones that are the hardest to take sometimes. But the more that you take them, the further along you realize you're getting. And that's a practice. It's a practice. I'm being reminded of when I was sick and how I was just so much in victimhood and suffering and struggle and in depression, and it felt like that's all there was. but I mindfully wanted to shift my experience. I said to myself, even if I don't know if I'll survive the next day, I want to make sure that this day matters. And so I would write little pieces of paper, things I was grateful for every time. Like I passed, I kept it in an ice bucket, an empty ice bucket on my wine rack. And every time I would pass it, I would just write down a little note of something I was grateful for in that moment and put it in my wine rack. And that led up to my favorite day of the year, ended up being that New Year's Eve when I was sick. It was the first time I wasn't able to spend it with family or friends or go out. And what I did was I just gathered my favorite foods. I put on How I Met Your Mother, and I literally felt the energy shift in my living room that night because I was laughing with How I Met Your Mother. Like it was literally making me laugh out loud. And I had my dog beside me, and I remember just there was love for myself and for the moment in that room with me. And I swear I felt the energy shift. I wasn't aware consciously of energy back then. At least not to the point that I am now. But I felt the energy shift. I felt the room brighten and lighten. I swear it did. And and that was happening within my own mind. It was like a fog was lifting. And I looked around and I said, holy crap, I'm happy. In this moment right here, I am happy. I can be happy despite what physical circumstances are happening, despite illness, despite pain. I can be happy. And as midnight struck, I heard my neighbors and neighbors in the streets and everything setting off firecrackers and yelling, Happy New Year. And it is my favorite memory ever. It made I was by myself while I was with my dog, my beloved Riley. Um, but I made it my intention to surround myself with all my favorite things, to surround myself with laughter. And ever since, and back to the papers, I read through the papers that night and recognizing everything I had to be grateful for. And it shifted my whole perspective. And that's when everything changed for me. And every year since, that's what I do. I gather my animals and my favorite things, or sometimes my favorite people. And it's just joy. It's just joy. Because that's the energy that I want to be in. And so that's this energy. Just keep taking the next step for yourself. Whatever the circumstances, and I recognize too that there are challenging circumstances that we have in our human experiences, but just take the next step, the next step, the next step, because you have this energy of abundance within you. It is within you. It's not coming from something outside of yourself. The energy is just amplifying what you already have within you, what already exists within you. That abundance is within you. That is who you are naturally. So, okay, anything else we need to know for the Divine Feminines? Yeah, wisdom comes from the healing heart. So I like the juxtaposition of this heartbroken card with abundance, because this is you turning your perspective around. This is you shifting the energy, looking at it from a different perspective, looking at it from not from lack, but from wisdom, not from lack, but from everything you've gained from the experience, everything you've gained from your journey, your phase, the cycle that you were in. This is a chance and a choice for you to shift things for yourself. And especially moving into the end of the year, with the solstice energy, a chance to shift your perspective and create breakthroughs and transformations within yourself, for your journey. And as you create that for yourself, it's going to have an impact on your journey, on your life, because everything is created within you. It's almost like what I'm getting is which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to remain in this energy? Or are you going to choose to learn from everything that you've experienced and choose this higher frequency, this higher level? That's all it is. It's just a shift in perspective. A shift in energy comes from a shift in perspective. And that's how you raise your consciousness. That's how you expand. That's how you grow. Okay, anything for the union energies. Anything for the union energies. We have playfulness, time for fun. Exactly. And inner child, listen to the voice within. Yeah, two playful energies. The inner child is that innocent version of you. It's who you are, who you've always been before experience and conditioning and patterns and all this stuff kind of took hold and beliefs took hold. But you get to shift your beliefs. Beliefs aren't firm, they're not fixed. You get to shift your beliefs. Maybe a belief was valid and held weight and some kind of truth for you at one point in your journey or one point in your life. But you get to determine for yourself whether that belief is something that continues, especially beliefs about yourself, beliefs about your journey, beliefs about your experiences, or is it something that you can shift? So I feel like with the innocence energy of the inner child is allow yourself to be playful, allow yourself to bring in that joy in your life, allow yourself to recognize that life and your journey is meant to be joyful, is meant to be full of this love, which is what joy is. Joy is love. Play is love. Again, I know I'm talking about my experiences a lot, but it's because they're bringing it to me. I remember there was a time when I was journaling. I was in the middle of illness, and again, it was very there's a lot of suffering and pain, and so I felt very stuck in that suffering and in that pain. I didn't know how to shift it, and so I would do a lot of journaling, and in that journaling I would have conversations with the universe, where the universe would actually write back, so to speak, through me. And I didn't realize at the time that it was channeling, but that's exactly what it is. And what they said was play, and I was like, excuse me, what do you mean? I can't play. Like, I can't play, I'm sick, I can't play. And the universe pointed me to Moxie, who I had just adopted, saying, play with her. She is that innocent. She is that energy that you needed. She came to you right when you needed her. And so I allowed myself to start playing, and that play brought about more laughter and brought about more joy, and that began to again shift everything for me. And that's when I truly began to heal my emotions and spirituality, and heal my body. So playfulness. Playfulness is that innocence, is that joy. Don't look at the lack, don't look at the scarcity, especially when it comes to your connection. Tune into the unity within you, tune into the union within you, tune into the love that flows between you and your counterpart always. And be playful with that energy when you're connecting energetically. Okay? All right. Again, the sacred channeling we have coming up, I feel, is going to be helpful for this. Yeah, let's use this one. All right. Anything else we need to know for the masculine? Wheel of Fortune, yeah, everything's shifting. And the Wheel of Fortune, what I'm getting here is these seasons. And so that's where I feel like this solstice energy, where we were over the past 6 months, to the solstice energy, to the next 6 months, it's all of these seasons. It's all cyclical. And I feel like the masculine is moving into a new season of themselves, a new season of their life. Destiny, it's part of their journey. It's part of their blueprint. It's part of their path. Three of Wands, yeah. Three of Wands is traditionally this card of ships coming in. Your manifestations coming in, you've chosen a path, and now it's about aligning with that path is what I'm getting. That's what this feels like, this rebirth is. Looking back at the past and breaking those patterns so that they can align to a higher path, so that they can align to a higher version of themselves. And that's part of this fated event. That's part of this destiny. They are meant to go through this ascension journey. They are meant to go through this transformation. This is their own soul that's calling them. And when you're in resistance to your soul, that's when everything crumbles. That's when everything falls apart, because you're in resistance to yourself. You're in resistance to your soul. When your soul has the blueprint, your soul knows the path, your soul knows the way. So I feel like this is alignment. This is the energy of alignment here. Yep, King of Swords. What I like about this King of Swords is how regal he feels. The King of Swords can sometimes be a kind of cold energy, stoic, but this energy feels powerful. It feels communicative, decisive. It feels like I've got this. This King of Swords is like, I'm taking back my power. I know my strength now. I know who I am. I'm also getting this sense of identity. I'm rediscovering my identity on a soul level, who I truly am, not who I needed to pretend to be, not the masks that I needed to wear. This feels like a very regal energy, almost emperor kind of energy. Not quite there yet. Still learning, still learning about themselves, still learning about the kind of leader they want to be, the kind of person they want to be. When I say leader, I'm talking about king energy, but it's really the kind of person they want to be, the kind of divine masculine they are. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the Lover's card, and I do feel like this is the twin flame energy, the sacred partner energy, is what is guiding this. And remember, we talk about this in the sacred channeling too. We've talked about this in my book. We talk about this in all our sacred union energy updates, so I don't want to go deep into it. But remember, you're doing this as one. So as you're focused on your life, that doesn't mean that you are abandoning your counterpart. It doesn't mean that you're neglecting your counterpart. They have their own journey, and you have to have trust and you have to have faith in their journey. You have to have trust and have to have faith in the unfolding. You're not, you're a guiding light just by who you are. Just by who you are. And the more you're in your authenticity, the more you're focused on your journey, your path, your joy, the more you are being you, you naturally shine a light. And that light is the call home for the divine masculine. It's not anything that you say, not anything that you do. It is just who you are. That is why your personal soul growth journey is so important. Divine Feminines. What is the Divine Feminines? Need to know right now. The Knight of Wands. Things are going to move faster for you. I'm getting called to this abundance card, unexpected windfall. This doesn't have to be money. This could be opportunity. This could be shifts in energy. This could be, it could be something tangible like money or gifts or something like that. But I do feel like this abundance energy, I almost want to do this because we're not even talking about this anymore. This felt like this was a choice point for you. We're not even talking about this anymore. It's like you can choose lack or you can choose to learn from everything that you've experienced and move into this abundance. So we're not even talking about this part anymore. This is all this abundance energy. So this unexpected windfall is, it can be something tangible, financial, but it feels more like it could be an opportunity. It feels more just the energy of abundance, tapping into the energy of abundance. And the more you're tapped into the energy of abundance, which is joy, which is gratitude, which is love, that creates that abundance, the more things are going to pick up very quickly for you. It's gonna happen quickly. It's gonna happen quickly. Six of Cups, there's that nostalgic energy. For some of you, this might be communication. This might be reunion. This might be connection with your counterpart. This could be connection with other people. Take it as it resonates for you. But with the world here, I do feel like there's this sense of success. All this abundance energy feels like this sense of success. And it's because you've completed a cycle, a phase of yourself, a phase of your journey. You're moving into the next because you are focused on your joy, focused on your life, focused on love, not focused on the lack anymore. Remember, we kind of put that to the side. You've chosen the direction that you want to go for your soul growth journey, your highest frequency, your highest embodiment. That is the success. That is what has ended a cycle and what is beginning a new cycle for you. And part of that new cycle, again, quickly, might be, finances, opportunities, whatever that abundance represents. But it could also be, I'm also getting dreams. So if there was a dream that hadn't come true, or there was a dream that you've held on to for a long time, that might be coming back around. Or it could be connection as a whole, like connection with your counterpart. Yeah. And Knight of Pentacles, this isn't just, it's coming about because of an energy shift, but it's not just an energy shift. This is happening within physical world, your physical world. So I do feel, again, within the next 6 months, I feel like, again, this solstice energy, you're going to be feeling this ramped up, and within the next 6 months, you'll see the results of this. Within the next 6 months, you'll see the tangibility of it. What I'm getting is it'll come to completion within the next 6 months. So it might be beginning here and it might happen quickly. Remember, 6 months is quick. 6 months, it is happening very, very quickly now, time. So this might be the beginning of like maybe an opportunity that you're signing contracts for, or it is like a business dream or something that you've wanted to realize, or maybe it's a reunion with a connection. That's the beginning. And over the next 6 months, it's gonna, energetically amp up. And when I say completion, it's not like it's going to be done. It's going to amp up to over the next 6 months. You're going to see the results of it. You're going to see the results of that energy. You're going to see the results of those small steps in the physical. That's what it feels like. It feels like a progression, a momentum that is continuing to build. And that's why it's really important, this preparation mode that we're kind of in. It's not a void. It is just kind of a stillness. It's a keep your circle small, keep filling yourself up, keep working on yourself, your soul growth, keep nurturing your energy. That's all going to prepare for this energy that is amping up, that is to come. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense or doesn't make sense for you guys. Okay, let's just get a card or two for the solstice energy. What is it that we need to know for the solstice? What is it that we need to know for the solstice, for the masculine? What is it we need to know for the solstice, for the masculine? What do you need to release? Yeah. And I like this because you see the winter time there? That's what I feel like is happening. They're shifting past patterns. They're shifting and letting go of past lifetimes and versions of themselves in this lifetime. They're letting go. That's what the breaking out of patterns, that's what the shift out of patterns is. That's what taking back your power is. It's not, things don't happen singularly. Things happen as an and. It's not an either or. It's never an either or. It's always an and. Things are happening simultaneously. So as you're releasing, you're also bringing in something new. As you are shifting in a belief, you're also forming a new belief. So things are happening simultaneously. So as they're releasing past patterns or aware of past lifetimes and releasing those past lifetimes, they're also calling back their power. So right on time, right on schedule. Divine feminine. What do we need to know for the divine feminine and the winter or summer solstice, the solstice energy? Take time to breathe out. Exactly what we were saying. Take time for yourself. Nurture yourself. Fill up your cup. It's that introspective mode. It is that nurturing mode. It's that keep your circle small. It's not a void. It's not that nothing's happening. It's just that you're nurturing yourself and taking time for yourself. It's this preparation kind of energy. Union energies. What is it that we need to know for the union energies? What is it that we need to know for the union energies? For this solstice, for the union. A win-win outcome is forecast. What I'm really drawn to is the scales here. I'm curious to know if there is a full moon in Libra coming up within the next 6 months. I might check that out. And if I don't, if you're aware of that, let me know in the comments, because I do feel like there might be something by the next full moon in Libra. I'm not quite sure what that is, but that's just a message that came through. But I'm really drawn to this balance, this union energy. That's all balance is. It's union energy. Everything is balancing out. Everything is coming into harmony. It might not seem it, but don't look at the physical world. Don't look at your circumstances to dictate what your journey is or where you are in your journey. You have to keep tuning in and going within. Okay? All right, you guys, that is going to be it for today. I'm wishing all of you a happy holiday, however you celebrate, and we'll be back into the new year. Make sure that you check out the Sacred Channelings. Make sure you check out our playlist. Make sure you check out our Ascension Connections portal for a ton of resources to support you on your journey. I'm sending you so much love and so much light, and we'll see you next year.